my screen. Okay. And along with me, Ms. Kuntal Badre also is here. Okay, and she will also be, actively involved in this one. Okay, so this way, actually, I want this session to be more interactive. So I request if you have any questions, you please unmute yourself and ask us the question. Okay, I want this to be more interactive. I'll be asking some small question. Please respond. Okay, and I want this to be more interactive. Again, I'm telling you. Okay. Um, good afternoon, Mr. Ravindra. Okay. Um, before this, okay. Okay, and this is our, I have to show this slide. Okay, but still I request you all to unmute and support us in asking questions. Okay, more interactive kind of. Okay, so my session is on referencing and plagiarism. Okay, referencing and plagiarism. Okay, my first question would be, okay, so what you can do is in the chat, or you can just write down what so this is the compass points actually. So I adopted this one from visible thinking routine. You must be knowing about that one. So from the visible thinking routine, I just adopted this one. So compass points for N4, what do you need to know or find out from this topic? Okay, and what do you currently, so what do you think about this topic? What do you currently believe about this topic, and what makes you excited about this topic? Okay, the upsides one, I mean positively. And what about, so I think right now what you can try to answer would be, either you can put it in the chat, or you can just write it down. You can share it with us later. Okay, what do you know, what do you need to know about, or anyone wants to ask this question? Anyone, can anyone open up? You can, what do you think about this, what this topic could be all about? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, I think no questions. Okay, so you can use this one actually, because this is a visible thinking routine. You can use these kind of questioning in your classes also. Okay, you can use this one, and it's available free. You can use it. Okay, you can download the whole doc from online. Okay. Okay, now first question. Okay, let me take you, before getting into plagiarism, I mean before getting into referencing, because I know I mentioned referencing and plagiarism, but I'm just starting with the plagiarism, because plagiarism, first, if you first you understand plagiarism, then you know why you have to reference. So that's why I just starting with plagiarism. Okay, so what is plagiarism? According to Merriam-Webster, it says literary theft. Okay, and again, copying. If you see, if you in a simple terms, in layman's view, it is about copying someone's ideas. Okay, and nowadays plagiarism, it's a big talk. It's a big thing actually. Okay, so um, plagiarism again connected with academic dishonesty also. Okay, and even in our schools, in our schools, we have this agreement, academic honesty form. I hope you all must be having, I think. Okay, and students have to sign that. Okay, students and parents. Okay, academic honesty, and there is a policy. I think in many schools we have a policy for academic honesty. Okay, here is academic dishonesty. So academic dishonesty in the sense, any type of cheating that occurs relation to formal academic exercise, according to future learn. Okay, so in many schools, even in universities, you can't do this one. It's a serious offense. Plagiarism is a serious offense actually. Okay, present another person's work as your own, provide other students with your work, and make false claim. Okay, and engage in unacceptable group work or collaboration. Okay, so in our schools, I think many schools this happens actually. So our role is, our role is very important. How do we teach our students about the academic honesty, the plagiarism? Okay, so I think we have to play a bigger role. I think especially in many schools, teacher levels play a bigger role in this one. So I strongly support in that one. So we have to tell them what is academic dishonesty and how to avoid it, and what is plagiarism. Okay. If you have no questions, I'll just move on. Okay. Plagiarism in simple term, there are three main forms. One is copying, including the work of another person. That is one thing. Presenting ideas. Sometime, what we do, I mean, some kids, what they do, they present somebody's idea like they own, or they edit, they paraphrase or anything without giving credit, and they submit. Okay. And even paraphrasing another work, that's so these are the three main forms. Okay. I will also like to show you this one. What are the common types of plagiarism? Okay, what are the common types of plagiarism here? um, okay, I think my net is a little bit slow, that's why it's still loading. um, Okay, so the first thing is copy and paste. Okay, um, finding and replace, and sharing work. I mean, sharing in collaboration, they do it, and self plagiarism. Okay, which is very very, because sometimes we also unknowingly do it. For example, you would have wrote an article. The same article we publish differently. We edit and we put it in a very different way. Though it is us, we self plagiarize. Okay, that's why it says recycling. And another important thing is improper citing in the sense, not giving credit to the author, the person, or the website. Okay. And purchasing. Okay. Many times, I think, especially in IB extended essay, it's for sale actually. So you pay some amount, and there are a lot of people who can just give you that one. Okay, so it's purchasing. Somebody, you pay and get your things done. And remix and go citation, it's um, actually certain information will not be available, but still you guys, I mean, still, sometimes we mention that in our resource. Actually, that's why it's called ghost citation. Okay, let me come back to this. Any questions so far here? Any questions? Okay, I'll just move on. Okay, so why do students plagiarize actually? So this is if you go to plagiarism.org, it's part of turnitin.com, and they did a small research, data. They took a survey. So based on this one, submitted work done by another 10 percentage. And if you see which is highest, it is admit to paraphrasing, copying without citing. So that's very, very important. So now you can connect why plagiarism and referencing play a bigger role. Okay, so the 52% is the main thing is, they do all paraphrasing, they won't copy, but still not giving credit to the thing what way they did. Okay. um, and this one, why the common reasons, why students, why we always plagiarize. Okay, according to Doherty, the book, the complete guide to referencing and avoid plagiarism, in that author Doherty mentioned, a main thing is lack of awareness of what is plagiarism. In many schools it happens actually. First of all, kids don't know what is plagiarism and how to reference all these things. Okay, and sometimes kids do it for better grades also, they just copy and do it. And access to resource, nowadays, resources is abundant actually. Okay, so what they do, they just pick here and there, and they just mix and match, and they just put it in their research paper. So these are the common reasons for plagiarism. And this is a very good book. I recommend this book. My presentation is based on this book, The Complete Guide to Referencing and Avoiding Plagiarism. Okay, you can have it, this one. Okay. Okay, understanding plagiarism. Okay.
It's your responsibility to properly acknowledge the words and ideas of others. You have to clearly differentiate them from your own. In scholarly circles, the principle is known as academic integrity. The sources you use, whether ideas, texts, photos, or graphics, are the intellectual property of the author. If you're careless about how you incorporate these into your paper, you could plagiarize another's work. And in college, plagiarism has serious consequences. There are obvious ways to plagiarize, such as submitting a paper written by a friend, copying and pasting an essay from the web, or buying a paper online. But there are also subtle ways to plagiarize that you might not be aware of. Take a look at this sentence from a published book. Mental life is not neat and orderly. You'd be plagiarizing if you quoted these words without providing an in-text citation. And you'd also be plagiarizing if you didn't use quotation marks. You'd need both a citation and quotation marks to avoid plagiarism. If you improperly paraphrase by exchanging the original words for synonyms, but retain the original word patterns, that too is plagiarizing. You'll find more information in the tutorial on paraphrasing. Even if you summarize or paraphrase, but don't include a citation, that's still plagiarism. You have to properly credit the ideas of others. If you use media of any kind, photos, maps, charts, graphs, videos, podcasts, or songs, without a citation, that's definitely plagiarism. Just because ideas, words, graphics, or music are on the web, it doesn't mean they're fair game for you to use without attribution. The internet is not a grab bag of free content. Everything you find there is someone else's intellectual property. Avoid plagiarism. If you're careless, you'll compromise your academic integrity.
Okay. Um, so this is a simple explanation about plagiarism. So this I got it from Question School. I think many of you using Question School, which will be, I mean, they won't be continuing after January, I think. So in that website, it's a database, act as a database that has a writing center. Under writing center, they have a tutorial. So in that tutorial, you have everything, how to research, how to paraphrase, how to summarize, everything. You can do it. You can show to your kids, actually show to your students. Okay, so I adopted this video from there. Okay. Okay, so here, how to avoid plagiarism. Okay, first thing is you should make them understand what is plagiarism, and quote and paraphrase. Okay, quote, for example, say Abraham Lincoln quote. Okay, so that quote, say in plagiarism, there is, you're not supposed to copy, but in quote, you have to copy and paste. Okay, even if you find some grammatical error in that one, still you're expected to copy and paste. Okay, that is quote, actually. And even, definitions, say definitions by Albert Einstein or Newton, you have to just copy and paste. Only thing is you have to put the quotation marks. We'll come back to that one. Okay, so you should understand, you should tell the students, what are these things, what is code and what to paraphrase, how to cite sources and check work for possible plagiarism. There are a lot of softwares available, example Turnitin, where you can, check the plagiarism. Okay, now I'm just taking, according to copy leaks, what they tell about plagiarism. um, if you want, I will just share these things with you all. Okay, you can share me your email ID or anything. Okay, so plagiarism, what is plagiarism here in this copy leaks? Okay, even you can also detect, you can also, if you upload your work, it will tell you whether the percentage of plagiarism. That is one thing. And what they exactly, because I referred this website mainly to show you these things, the types of plagiarism. What are different types of plagiarism? Direct plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, accidental, unconsciously we do, self plagiarism, and paraphrasing. You do paraphrasing, but still not giving credit to the author. So, if possible, you can just go to copy leaks and plagiarism, and you will find all these things. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this one. Okay, I'm coming back to the presentation. Okay, now, what is quoting? I know I just, I explained to you all. This is one way of avoiding plagiarism. Okay, for example, see, this is one thing, so this is the original source. Okay, and you have the work cited here, and this is the quote used in writing. So, music presents abstract concept, but as, okay, so this is This is called indicates. The author Langer 2013 indicates. This is called signal phrase. You can also use signal phrase in your research document. And here, since it's a quotation, you have to close and start with the quotation mark and page number. And here are the reference notes. Okay, so we'll see what style it is this. I mean, style is this. Okay, so this is one way of avoiding plagiarism. You can just copy and paste quote. Okay, quote is one thing. Okay, through that, the punctuation is very, very important. Okay, and next one is how should we integrate? Use signal phrase. This is called signal phrase. Okay, so there are two things, we'll come back to that, in-text citation and works cited. Okay, so this is in quote. You can use according to Abraham Lincoln, or according to Albert Einstein, something like so. This is the quote actually. This is how you integrate. And next one is paraphrasing, which is very, very important. Okay, this is one skill you can teach your students how to paraphrase. You can take them with a number of examples. Okay, you can give them some phrase or some story and ask them to rephrase it. And sometimes we also do book talk, right? So how they do paraphrase and even summarize more fits in that one. For example, say if you ask me about the book I read, I will just, the book maybe 30 500 pages, but I can tell you, I can summarize. That's why, you're putting in a, short form. So summarize in within just 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes maximum. So these are the skills where we can teach our students. So this is one, paraphrasing is very important. The first one is quote and second one is paraphrasing. And this is one example how to paraphrase. Okay, say same like that before. This is the original source, and from the original source, um, we did the paraphrasing here. The author did the paraphrasing here without changing the meaning, which is very, very important, not repeating the same words here. So paraphrasing, and this is the in-text citation. For this in-text citation, the work cited or references provided. Okay, this is one, this is example of paraphrasing. And how do we integrate it? Okay, the key points, list the main ideas, using alternate phrases, and rewrite, reorder, okay, without using the same words, without changing the meaning, which is very, very important. Okay, any questions so far? If no questions, I can, Kuntal, any questions so far so that we can take?
Well, I think a lot of people want the PPT. Is it possible that you share it?
Um,
Or is
I'll
that
share you.
plagiarism?
Obviously, because it's a very good question, and you have the answer, you know. So I can share you some handouts of this one. Am I right,
Yes.
Ms. Kuntal?
Yes,
And
yes. We can if the owner agrees, again there's the session is
No, because you mentioned the website. All the information that you're mentioning, is that all from that copy leaks? Is that why
no,
we
no,
find
no.
all this?
Actually, I referred different websites and book and everything. I added in the last slide actually.
Okay.
So I just picked here and there actually, and I I put it in one site actually.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so these are this the slide which I use often for my students actually. We do it often for my grade 12, from grade 6 onwards we do this with our kids.
Yeah, I with the grade 6, I'm teaching them, and it's really, really tough to. So it's good to have
Yes.
your view on it. Yeah, because they really don't understand. So thank you
Yeah,
for this.
for main thing is summarizing, paraphrasing. It's very, very
Mhm.
important. It's one of the main skill we have to teach our students actually.
Yes.
If they can do this one, then other things will be really easy for them, because
Mhm.
sometimes kids struggle in summarizing and paraphrasing. I hope you all agree with me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Especially, yeah, but we have to start from grade 6 onwards,
right. Yes,
and
yes.
be
I
strict
think,
about it.
yeah, sometimes we think that only English teachers can teach, but
no.
here
Yeah.
teacher librarians we have to teach under which this also comes under literacy, information literacy. It comes
No,
under literacy also.
I'm an art teacher. When they make their process journal, they
Yes,
need to cite, because they just steal the images from artists, from
of course.
Pinterest and things like that. It's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
art. In art, it's really important also.
Yes, yes, very good. Yes, it's important for everything actually.
Actually, we're really
Even
important.
what I tell my kids, even while speaking. For example, say Kuntal and myself discussed on something. And if I'm quoting, if I'm just telling what Kuntal mentioned, I have to obviously quote Kuntal actually. Say Kuntal said this one. So I think we have to practice that kind of habit.
Actually.
It's very, very important. That kind of habit we have to practice.
In fact, we can start very early from primary with a
Yes.
very simple thing to kids saying that, okay, thank you, this was done by my mom. Thank
Yes,
you, this
something
was
like
done
that.
by my dad, you know. So
Yes.
that thing only starts acknowledging.
Yeah, it starts from there actually. Acknowledging and giving credit. Okay. And this is one example of summarizing. As I mentioned, sometime if somebody's asking me, have you read that book, can you say something about that one? So how I summarize within 1 or 2 minutes about the whole book, right? So that's also a skill. And about summarizing, so that also we can teach our students. So this is one example of summarizing with the work cited and in-text citation, provided. Okay. So how should we summarize? Okay, key ideas. Write down the key ideas. Do not add your own reflection. That is very important. And someone remind the reader that someone else return original piece of the writing throughout the summary. Okay, so all these things, even you can use signal phrase also. Okay. um, okay, I'll come back to the main thing. What is referencing, which is very, very important, main topic of this session. Okay. So this is one uh, definition which I got it from Oxford: a mention or citation of source of information, book or article. Okay. And in this session, I will take you through brief history of referencing, where it started and why to reference, what, when, how, and finally, I will just take you some examples of, mainly MLA and APA. Okay. I have, due to less time, I couldn't get all the things, but I managed to get some handouts. I made some handouts with the Harvard, APA, and everything. Okay, we'll discuss on that one. Okay. So what is referencing? Okay. So there are two things very, very important in referencing. As soon as referencing comes, there are two things. One is the in-text citation and the reference list or work cited. Okay. um, I can just show you an example. Okay, this I just got it from Knowledge Quest magazine. This is one of the article. I think my net is a little slow. Okay. My question will be, can anyone anyone trace this one, in-text citation? Anyone? Anyone? Can you check? Can you see the in-text citation from this article? Anyone?
Should I answer?
Any answer?
It's APA.
Okay, no, I want to just tell me show me one in-text citation from this. In-text citation. I don't want any style
Okay.
or anything. Just
Yeah, so it's below this yellow line where it says article. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read it.
Bailey 2017.
Yeah.
very good. Okay, okay. So any other one? I mean, over here where WHO
That's Matt Nicole. That's Matt Nicole 2016. That's
very good. Okay, so these are the in-text citation, which is very, very important for the referencing. Okay, putting in very simple term, referencing, in-text citation, first thing. Okay. Okay, what is this actually? In-text citation is mentioned something, right? What is this McNichol and 2016? Any idea? Anyone?
It's the author.
Author, very good. Okay, author's last name, first name.
Last
It's
name.
the last name.
Very good. Okay, what do you think about this? What is this 2016? This is the page number.
This is the year.
The year in
Yeah.
English.
Very
year
good.
of
Okay.
publication. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this is how I teach my kids. Okay, okay. I know you guys know, but this is the way I teach my kids actually.
And then at the end, they have a list with all the books, and that's where you get your
Right.
proper
Yes.
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
See this? Okay, this is the work cited. So if your students are writing an article or a research document, if it is referencing, In-text citation should be there and the work cited. Okay, now can you, so you found McNichol or somebody, can you locate here? How do you very fast you can look out, I mean locate here.
It's in alphabetical
Alphabetical
order.
order.
So
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. Okay, you guys are being awesome kids actually, I mean students.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, next McNichol. Okay, alphabetical order, it's very easy. Okay, and so this is works cited. Okay, so if referencing comes in, the first thing is in-text citation you have to fill in. I mean, you have to do in-text citation. In-text citation is nothing but the author's last name, the surname, and the page number. But according to MLA 8, the year of publication is not required, just the author would be enough. Okay, say in the article which I referred, I can't find the author's name. What shall I do? Any idea?
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay. Any other
Use a different source.
Use it. Okay, that's very simple. Okay, very good. Any other option? Any other option? Okay, I can't find the author. Say I'm referring to a website article. Okay, I can't find the author. What should I do?
Article title.
Title. You
Title,
can
very
check it
good.
out.
Article title, or you can also write the website name also. For example, say a World Health Organization, you referred an article with published by World Health Organization. Obviously, you will not find the author details because as an organization they publish that article. In that case, you have to mention either the title or the organization name. That's all, very simple. Okay. Hope no questions. Okay, you can just see the way they put in actually the work cited, the all the details. Okay, I'll come back to the this thing. Okay, so please make a note. There are two things very important. One is the in-text citation, and second thing is reference list or work cited. Later we'll come back, we'll discuss on the difference between work cited and bibliography. We can come back to that also. Okay, now brief history. Okay, it's not very recent or very latest. Okay, it started during Roman jurists, actually very old, before 15th century. Okay, it all started over there, legal treatise. Okay, the complete history you can find in the book, the complete guide to plagiarism and referencing. Okay, and even in this website you can find all the details. Okay, I will share you this link with you all. Okay, so here you can find the complete history of referencing. Okay, why do we cite and everything. Okay, I won't take this. I just wanted to show you where I adopted. Okay, and the importance of referencing started from they started giving more importance after invention of printing. Okay, the paper and everything. So after invention of printing, there were more available of resources actually. So paper everywhere, more information. So we need some some way to save, secure those things, right? But because anyone can say that I did that, because a lot of information, I mean, done maybe could be like that. Okay, so the main issue started from invention of printing, and then the statute of Anne, I mean, passed into law on 10th April. Then copyright law started, because you can just connect what would have happened after that. And even 18th century also. And after this, after 18th century, the Harvard first reference style, Harvard was started actually. It was invented that by his name. It was invented in 1758. No, it was invented before that. I mean, after that. Sorry, by Edward Loudon Mark. He was a professor in zoological laboratory of Harvard. Okay, so he came up with this Harvard style. Then before that, in 1758, David Hume, he did the complete referencing actually before that. So after 18th century, the Harvard first came, and before that, they were also using some kind of symbols, okay, like a dagger, like a asterisk kind of. Okay, in that website you'll find more details about the dagger, DAGGERs, daggers, and they also used asterisks to note, footnote, denote footnote. Then Harvard came, Harvard style. Then MLA styles, all the other styles came up actually. Okay, so what are the main principles of the referencing? The main important thing is intellectual property. Okay, under anyone can tell me what comes under intellectual property? What are the things comes under intellectual property? Any idea? Intellectual
Like any
property.
book that if
Okay.
any person writes,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it is an
Actually,
intellectual
no.
property.
Yes. Actually, I want to tell you, I want to make this note. Under intellectual property, there are three things comes in actually. One is the copyright, patent, trademark. Okay. Our work is more related to copyright actually. So copyright, under copyright, books comes in. As you said, as Jyoti mentioned, the books, any
And
artwork,
like any images,
any images,
any
all
artwork
these things.
images.
Yes. For example, you're going for a walk, going for a walk early morning. You found a beautiful scenery, with the good cloud and everything. You're taking a picture. That you can apply for a copyright. Okay. Say you're just sharing in the social media. Anyone can claim it, saying that I took picture of that. I clicked that, something like that. That's why just to protect that one, this one comes in. The intellectual property comes in. The copyright comes in actually. And always, yes.
But I think for movies, you can use up to 20 seconds without, and I think after 70 years, music and movies will
Yes.
become copyright free.
Right,
except
right.
for
Yeah,
Disney.
even for the books, we have certain years actually. After
Okay.
certain years, it will be expired, then we can use it actually. And it depends on the, for example, you are publishing a book, it depends on, the deal between, treaty between you and the publisher, if you're writing in book. And for each and every this thing, there is a year of, after certain years, you can use it actually. It will be in the public domain.
Yeah, so Shakespeare is in the public domain. I can just use him.
Yes, yes, yeah. You can use it, but again, if somebody claimed for that, okay. So yeah, let me come back to this. The principle of access, help readers easily, quickly identify. That is one thing. These are the main principles, okay. Principle of economy, standardization, and the transparency. Okay. This is according to Walker, from the same book, The Complete Guide to Referencing and Plagiarism. Okay. I'll just move on. Okay. So why referencing is important? Why it is very, very important? Because it's a very serious thing, right? Why it is important? So I gave some ideas here, some things here, the origin of idea, not limited. And I always tell my students that, you are helping that author to develop his research work. That's why I tell my kids also, you're helping that author to develop his thoughts further, or ideas. That's why, the origin of ideas, being aware where, that is one thing. And web of it spreads actually, you're connecting. Okay. And develop own ideas. Okay. The option, opinions, arguments, and everything. And authenticity, and appreciating one's work, which is very, very important. So these are the main important. Why referencing important? If anyone asks, you can just tell them these things. Okay. This is also argument presentation. You can also, helps us to argue certain thing. Assignment, presenting a clear constant. So as I mentioned, you're helping the author to develop his ideas, views further. Okay. You can just have a look. Anyway, everything is self-explanatory. You can just go through this one. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay. So now, questions for you all. Why should you use and acknowledge the work of others? Anyone? Anyone can answer this question. Why do you think you should incorporate their ideas and others into writing? What do you think about this? Why?
Because you need to have multiple points of view to have a
Okay.
neutral statement, or unless you want an opinion paper. But if
Right.
you want
Okay.
your extended essay, it should be neutral, or you
Because
should
each
have all
person's
points.
effort.
Yes, yes. Each person. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone?
I think the word research itself speaks about saying research.
Yes.
So
Research. Very good.
you are doing a search again, and incorporating the word itself is self-explanatory.
Awesome. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Kuntal. Okay. So even, sometime I always tell my students, say they did the extended essay, they left, and that extended essay will be in the library. Say the junior comes in and he's reading that extended essay. So what he does, he uses for his own work. I mean, that means not reproducing, but just to further develop the idea actually. So he's getting some idea from the this thing. So he's helping that person to develop his idea also again. And a very important thing is you are giving credit to the author. Okay, instead of taking permission, you're just giving credit to the author, saying that I took it from here. Okay, I got it from this. I got it from this article, something like that. Okay, yeah. Um, Very important, as I mentioned, making meaningful connections, question and evaluate, provide credibility, provide evidence, and giving credit. Okay, so these would be the answer for the previous slide. Okay, now some anyone can find out. Okay. Anyway, the answer is here. The references. Difference between works cited and bibliography. Anyone can add on. Anyone can provide an example for this one. Anyone? The difference between works cited and bibliography. Anyone can provide, I mean, give an example.
On the bibliography,
Yes.
that's where you got all your information, and then you have drawn your own conclusions.
Okay.
And with referencing, I mean, you've written completely everything yourself, and referencing is when you cite.
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
in simple terms, for example, you are doing your research. Okay. So I referred a book. And I found that information is good, and I paraphrased. I mentioned in my this thing, I in-text cite. So for that one, you will, in the work cited, you will provide all the details about the book. This is work cited. Okay. In bibliography, for example, while having your tea, you're reading a newspaper. So while reading newspaper, you got some idea, you found some information for your research work. Okay. But I just got an idea, but not paraphrasing or anything, but just got an idea. I referred that one. So that, newspaper article or newspaper, that you can put it in bibliography. So if you are making bibliography, even if you referred, you watched a movie, you got some idea, that you can put it in bibliography. But works cited, whatever you paraphrased or summarized or quote or anything you referred, then you can do only, whatever you did it in your research document, then you can just work cite. Otherwise you can do bibliography. Okay, whatever information you referred, those things you can just put it in the bibliography. Okay. I hope I'm right, Kuntal. You want to add it to this? Okay. Okay. What to reference? What to reference? Okay. So these are the things we have to refer. Okay. So books written by single author, multiple edited books, reference books, notes supplied by the lectures, all these things. These are the things you have to refer. Okay. So this is one thing. You can just take a look. I'm just moving on. Okay. And how do you evaluate, how do you select certain sources? Okay. This will be a little out of this thing, but still this will be very important. Okay. So relevance and bias, current, how recent that article is, and what is the scope of that one, and whether it is credible. So choosing sources is also very important actually. Okay. Okay, choosing sources. Again, how to evaluate. Who's the author of the source, which is very, very important. Even in my previous session, I mentioned. So if you are referring to a website or an article, always look for author details. Okay. And author profile, whether that author is expertise in that subject. Okay. You can also ask students about the difference between, you can differentiate between the magazine and the journal. Okay. And how was the source published? Okay, whether published in a magazine or a journal. Okay, what work involved in that one, and where did you get the source, or just you found the source just by Google search or through a database. Okay, there are a lot of databases available actually, like JSTOR, Question School. So I think many school subscribe to it. So I would always suggest our kids to refer to certain databases instead of randomly getting into Google and getting the information. So the credibility will be the question. Okay. So all these things, this is about the evaluating the websites and choosing the source. Okay. And when to reference. Okay. There are 6 scenarios, which is very, very important. The net is a little bit this one. I mean, it's a little slow. Okay, so these are the main scenarios where you have to reference. Okay, say you're quoting somebody's, quote or definition. Okay, or you're putting another ideas, author's idea, or copying a table. A table or an diagram or image or anything. So whenever you do this, these scenarios, you have to refer. Actually, you have to cite, which is very, very important. Okay. No questions on this? Then I'll just move. Any questions here? Okay, I'll just move on.
And the only question that I have is related to art, because we had an artwork that was on the official Modern Met website, but there was no title of the artwork and no year when it was made. How do you reference that? The same way that you do when there's no author?
So you can give the title. You have the title of that artwork?
No, I found many pictures of that on on art museum websites.
Okay.
But they never, and also like credited art blogs or magazines, but none of them have the title or the year. So
Okay.
can I then quote it the same way as when there's no author?
Okay, yeah. And how about, so did you try source those pictures from the website or from the museum directly?
Yeah, the Modern Met Museum in New York, they have it on their website.
Okay.
I even emailed the museum.
Okay.
But, or is that not, can you not reference that properly?
Yeah, first thing is, I would suggest, if you ask me personally, I would suggest you can just check with anyway, you sent an email to them. And can you just try, we have this option, images.google.com. You can just upload that pictures.
Did it?
And you can find some details from there. And later you can share me, you can connect with me, then I can also help you on this one.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can I give an input over here, please?
Yes, Kuntal, please.
If you're using an MLA citation, there is a provision to use museum as
main source, actually.
Museum, you can use it as a source, so you give the name
of the museum,
artist with the museum, location of the museum.
Oh,
so suppose it's me, then it's Kuntal, comma, and museum's name.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you can also do that.
Even if you've taken it directly from a museum.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Not from the website, right? Not from the
website.
But
as very rightly said, yeah, not if it's a website, then directly cite as a website citation.
Yes.
Thank you.
But as Saleth rightly said, if it's from museum, it's better to ask them before we use it somewhere.
Yeah. And sometime, in the museums, below the picture, they would provide all the details, actually. So did you
but this
try
time
to
they didn't.
those details?
Yeah. I even asked in the art teachers forums, and I just told the students to pick a similar work by this landscape artist. Because the museum, he hasn't answered my email, the museum hasn't answered, but since I'm here, I thought maybe you can, but if I can use the museum as a source, then that's
museum
perfect.
you can use as a source, actually.
Perfect.
Even, you can mention the measurement also, you can mention if you're okay. And another thing is, I hope you know about InThinking website. InThinking. I'll just put it in the website. You can go to that. Schools can directly subscribe to that, actually. InThinking, visual art.
Saleth, can I share one more source over here?
Yes, Kuntal.
If you have JStore has a special art store.
Yes,
So
artstore.in. One second.
artstore.in, yeah. So if schools can subscribe to it along with JStore, for some time they do give subscription, free for us to try. So
Yeah, it's right now it's under JCS Online, and they provide Artstore also.
What's that website you say?
Artstore, I just mentioned in the chat.
Okay, yeah. So JStore, I know, and Artstore is okay. Thank you.
Artstore is part of JStore database actually.
Right. Yeah, JStore, I know. Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, and in thinking visual art,
Yes.
if you get into that website, it's mainly for IB actually. So there you can find how to cite and everything.
Perfect.
So you get complete details about that one.
Wonderful.
And we are happy to help you on this one later.
Thank you.
Welcome, please. Okay. Hope no more questions. I'll just move on.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anyone? Okay. So now we did what to reference the history and everything. Now, when not to refer. Okay. So if you are just mentioning about, say, Delhi is the capital of India, then no need to cite it actually. And if you're presenting your own experiences, then citation is not required. And you repeated something in the somewhere in the document and not required. So these are the common 4 situations, where referencing is not required. Okay. Anyone would like? Any questions here? Kuntal would like to add anything here? If not, I'll just move on.
no, you have covered everything.
Okay.
And common knowledge. Like I give a very simple example that sun rises in east.
Yes.
And not be
Yes.
cited.
Yeah, you don't need to cite. Okay. So these are the 4 situations. Okay.
Sorry, Saleth, one thing added, the website with CC, Creative
Mhm.
Commons.
Yeah.
Even that does not need citations.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So how to refer? Okay. So this is another, like paraphrasing and summarizing. This is also one of the important skill which you can teach your students. Note taking, because I see, I think many of you have experienced, students last minute they come to the library and ask for the details. Mainly for the citation. So during your research, I think in many schools, teacher librarians do conduct sessions on research and referencing. So during that time, you can just tell the students they should do note taking or note making. Okay. So while doing the note taking, while taking notes, for example, say I'm reading a book for my research. Okay. So after that, you can immediately paraphrase it, annotate. Okay. It's annotate is one of the skill. Write it down, paraphrase it, and write all the details about the book. So this note taking will help the students later to do the citations, which is very, very important. Even, Noodle Tools helps actually. Noodle Tools is one of the, I will show you that link as well. I'm just putting in the chat. Noodle Tools is one of the very important tool, that this is for both referencing the citation, as well as you can also make note. Actually, you can also add, you can annotate and everything, and it's not that costly also. Okay. And this is for institutional subscription, and you can just browse through that one. Okay. So note taking is another important thing. So while researching, while referring to any website or anything, your students should be able to get all the details about the website, the URL, access date, everything. Okay. So these are the referencing style. There are 2 different types. One is in text, where in text where we provide only the name, the author's name, and in text numerical where we provide only the Euro publication or just the number, the page number or something. So these are the 2 this thing. But I think if you agree, I think many schools follow in text, mainly the modern language, MLA, Harvard and everything. Okay. So these are I just tried to connect with the different styles. These are the styles. Okay. So humanities, but in many schools, I think they follow MLA widely, if I'm correct. Okay. And for psychology, they use APA, American Psychological Association. So these are the subject disciplines which I try to connect. Okay. And if possible, you guys can take, a screenshot of this one, which is very, very important. What should I, include in a reference? Okay. These are the things actually. Nowadays, Noodle Tools is available, website, EasyBib is there, citation machine. But still, if our students know the basics of these things, what are the things that we have to refer? This is one thing, so books, the books, journals, newspaper, websites. And for book, what are the things? And another very, very important thing is for the website date of access is very important, because I have come across with many students, last minute coming and just telling. So even, this happened during last academic year for extended essay. So she quoted one website, one student, and when we were cross checking about the referencing and everything, when she clicked open, I mean, when she tried opening that link, it didn't open. Okay. So if you mention the date of access, so you can justify saying that when I accessed on that day, the web link was there, the website was there later, I don't know what happened, because every day a lot of new website comes in, new pages comes in actually. So always encourage your students to add date of access, mainly for any web page or web article, which is very, very important. Okay. And url, another important thing, url, for website url, date of access, if not author, website or title would be enough, but url and date of access is very important. Okay. Because say you have not provided the date of access, but you provide the url, that url is not working, then that will be considered as plagiarism if it doesn't open. Okay. Let me quickly go. So in-text citation, these are the simple examples. Moreover, all the styles are very simple, I mean, moreover very same, but only thing is small changes actually. From here you can just make some, you can differentiate, you can easily check this actually. So if you are referring to more than two or three authors, then you can just provide at all. Okay. Another thing is unique identifiers. I would like to stress upon the DOI. DOI is very important. For example, for journals, if you are referring to any databases, you will find instead of URL, you can go for DOI, digital object identifier. Okay. So this is permanent actually. So URL may change sometime, but for your safer side, for journals, scientific journals, mainly for journals, you can find DOI, digital objective identifier. You can encourage your students to use DOIs. Okay. And also, please don't encourage them to use these kind of URLs like bit.ly something. Okay. And I hope you all know about ISBN, ISSN, but I would like to stress upon DOI, digital object identifier. Okay. So MLA, as I mentioned, this is one of the format for MLA 8. I think many of you would be using MLA 8th edition. Okay, so what are the details you have to provide? Okay, this is for the electronic sources. I'm quickly moving because very less time I have. Okay, this is the common source. For example, interview. You can also cite Twitter, Instagram, and everything. Okay, and this is for APA. Here, if you just go to, I just refer to the APA website. So here you can find all the, if you're under handouts, you can find all the details actually, in-text citation checklist and everything. Okay. And see, this is one, okay, this is one proper citation infographic, which I adopted from APA. Okay. And this is one for common reference examples. Okay, so this you can just refer to it. You can see no links required. Okay, we librarians are very equipped, capable. So you just go to Google, just type APA handout or samples, you will get all these things. That's all. Okay. This is for the APA, and as I mentioned, Noodle tools, you can just try EasyBib. These are the referencing style which you can ask your students to do it. But meanwhile, before that, before using these things, please explain to the students why they have to use refer. what is plagiarism, what is academic dishonesty, how to reference, what are the different types of referencing, the in-text citation, the work cited, bibliography, all these things you can just teach your students. Okay. Now, finally, I'm just come to an end. You can just update your thinking. I used to think about this topic. Now I think. So something you can just write. Please feel free to put it in the chat, or if anyone wants to share your this thing, you can just do it. Okay. I'm done. Okay. And this is our library and this thing. Thank you for support. We are raising some fund. You would have seen in our registration form itself. So we'll be using this fund for building rural libraries. Ms. Kuntal can add on to this one.
It's basically, if you had attended the keynote speakers thing, we are raising funds for 3 libraries, basically the tribal part and community which do not have an easy access. So I think this support would help. Any questions which you would like to? Saleth, everyone has understood well.
I hope so. I want that actually. Any no questions? No, at least some questions.
I understand it can be overwhelming because when we do this with students also.
Yes. But actually I wanted more interactive, more speaking. Because we are getting into this online learning, right? So it's okay to just speak to only the black boxes sometimes.
Yeah. No, but I've taken the picture in the beginning, so don't worry.
Okay, then. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop sharing my
Sorry
screen.
to.
Yeah. Hi, Jyoti. Please tell me.
I had a. See, my question is that uh, for any individual, it is next to impossible to create, a very proper. Would I say कि ideas लाना बहुत difficult part है. This is the toughest part which I feel. तो हम किसी बुक से ही रेफरेंस लेके हम आइडियाज ले सकते हैं. So like in case of researching, when we are talking about grade 11 and 12 in IB schools, जब research हो रहा है तो student may use paraphrasing, may take the details from any different sources. In that situation, जैसे कि IB is 0 degree intolerant regarding कि you should not copy or you should not take anything from different place.
Yes,
how to promote that work?
Jyoti,
how to
answers.
Yeah, yes, Kuntal. Yeah.
I'll just say IB is not on a 0% tolerance. IB allows. IB will not say that do not completely don't go for a copy paste or paraphrasing, but whatever you do is cited. So we definitely, as I said, the term itself says research. You cannot, a student cannot give his 100% work. He or she has to research, right? So there is, and I think Saleth, then you can answer the rest of it.
Okay, IB also encourages primary data, actually, primary sources. Because sometimes we feel that we have to depend only on secondary sources, but IB also recommends. That's why, for extended essay, you can also you always tell your students to depend on primary data. Primary data is nothing but say you're talking you're researching a article on Bitcoin or bit currency or something. So you can directly you can try to meet somebody, come up with list out the question. You can take a survey. You can do a online interview. These things will help you for primary data. So IB always don't encourage always IB wants more from the students perspective and primary data, actually not completely depend on secondary. And these things should start from very early with even from the grade 1 I think we can just start, actually how to cite, how to give credit. After showing a picture, ask them to write by themselves what they think about that. Or after reading or reading information about, say, dinosaur. So ask them to paraphrase in the sense, ask them to put it in their own words. Instead of giving them, just telling them, paraphrase, summarize or anything, you can just ask them to write very simple things. Say, okay, you watched a movie about dinosaur. Can you write something about dinosaur? What do you think about that? Something like that. So I think you should teach us, and it should be build an habit actually. Okay. I hope, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very much. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Saleth, we should thank, because I think we are over time now.
Yes. That's why I'm waiting for them to leave.
Yeah. So please, you can go ahead with the another sessions.